guys, today I'm going to be doing a little boy's blazer. You need your fabric, a lining if you're going to do that, a different color, and your pattern. Now I used a pattern from Blank Slate Patterns. I will link it down below in the comments. So here I am cutting out the pattern. Now there's no pre-work for this fabric. You just pin and cut. Now I decided after cutting this that I didn't want the bulky lining to be a different color, so I did the same fabric inside as I did outside. So I went back and cut double of everything for the outside and for the lining. Now this fabric was really slippery, and when you're using a silky type fabric or glitter or sequins, you have to be very careful about what you're cutting and making sure that patterns are the same on the top and the bottom. I had to go back and recut a few pieces because it slid and shifted mid cutting. I don't show that, but sometimes that can be an issue if the fabric isn't cotton or wool or something that stays put. Okay, first I am doing the lining, and I'm going to be doing the lining and the outer shell side by side because it's the same process. So I'm sewing at the shoulder seams, right sides together, and then center back. And once that's completed, then you do each of the sides. So you should have something that resembles a vest once you're done. Now I went back through, and on the front you have, it's not just one piece, it's two pieces in this pattern. It's a front facing and a front piece, and you have to sew it. It goes along the princess lines. And remember, you have to clip it because it's on a curve and you want it to lay flat. Now I'm doing the sleeves. The sleeve is also a two-piece with this pattern. So since I did the same thing for the lining and the outer shell, I did 4 of these sleeves, making sure I had 2 left and 2 right. You sew down the seam to combine the 2 pieces. It's going to look really funky, but once you have completed the loop, here I'm doing the big curve and completing the loop, it's going to look like a normal sleeve, but it's going to give a little bit more class, and the curve is a little bit more sharp looking, especially because it's a blazer. Here I am sewing the sides and the back of the collar. You're going to leave the front open because you're going to turn it right side out. Here you clip and you butterfly the seams because you don't want bulk. Now if you noticed, I don't do a point. About 2 stitches before the end of the point, you turn it and you do 3 tiny cross stitches. That way, when you turn it right side out, it forms a perfect point. Here I am marking on the pocket where I am going to sew. So I have right sides together, the little pocket square I'm putting on top of my outer shell, and I'm marking with a white garment pencil. Now I'm going to pin this on. It's a rectangle actually, and I'm going to show you how to cut it next. So there's your rectangle, and you're going to slice it in the middle so that you can cut down from one end to the other. Now you're not going to cut all the way to that short end. What you're going to do is when you get close, about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch, probably 1/4 of an inch is the best, to the end, you're going to stop. And you are going to cut straight to the corner. And you're going to do it on 2 sides. So you're going to have a little triangle at the end. Now what this does is it makes those points crisp because you're going to turn it right, you're going to turn that square on the inside of the pocket so that you have a beautiful rectangle seam. Now, this is supposed to be a welt pocket. I don't finish it exactly like a welt pocket because the lining I put in is like a bright royal blue, and I wanted that to show through. So normally you're going to fold a little bit of that inside square so that it looks like a little opening, like there'll be a little sliver in the middle and there'll be two little flaps that are going to be sewn shut. But I'm not doing that in this pocket. I am simply doing the rectangle. So now I am pinning my lining, pocket lining, to the outside of the pocket. Now make sure that you do not catch the outer shell of the jacket in this lining. It is freeform. I went through and trimmed those up so they're nice and neat. And now I am making a flap for the front. I cut 2 more pieces the exact same size as the pocket, and I folded it in half. And I did 3 sides just like the collar, and I folded in the top seam and pinned it on and just sewed across so that when my son flips up that little pocket, you can see this beautiful blue lining. But I don't want it to be showing all of the time, so that's why I put the flap there. Okay, now I'm attaching the collar to the top neckline, and I am just going to stitch this very, very close to the edge just so that it stays. Now I am pinning the sleeves together at the wrist. So now I have pinned the lining to the outer shell. No sleeves are attached right now, and you're going to turn it right side out. And then I'm going to sew the outer shell sleeves to the outer shell, and then I'm going to hand stitch the sleeves to the armpit pocket. That is just the easiest way for me to do a blazer. And that's it. Stay tuned to see my son in the blazer doing Zoolander moves.